everybody. Welcome to the Oldish. I'm sorry we're a bit delayed today. Technology, it only works when it works. Hopefully, it will keep us on track today. Anyway, welcome to the Oldish. My name is Karen, and I am your host as always. I am happy to be here with you. To those of you who are new, welcome. To those of you who have been with us before, welcome back. Always glad to have you back. Today we're going to talk about two different topics because one of them sort of happened late yesterday, and I didn't want it to wait another week before I spoke to you. That topic has to do with false information that is circulating on the internet with regard to COVID, and I want to be able to tell you what to watch for and give you some tools to assess what's true from what's not. The other thing I want to talk about is shopping locally, because whether you like it or not, it's mid-August, which means the holiday season's coming. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a moment. Right now, what I want to show you is an article that we posted on the Oldish this morning, but I was aware of the content yesterday. You can read that article right here on the crawl, theoldish.com, if you want to have a look at it. When we're done talking and when the show is done, you want to go back and review it or access the links. That's where you'll be able to find it. So let me show you the article itself. It's this one. I just love this picture. Pinocchio, how COVID-19 myths cause harm. I just saw an article a few days ago, and it was about a gentleman who either thought he had COVID or had been diagnosed. I'm unclear about that. But in order to rid himself of it, he drank hand sanitizer. Now, this is not the first time we've heard about this sort of thing, but it just breaks my heart. It just absolutely breaks my heart to find out when people are reading these myths and they actually believe them. So let's take a look at this article here. And you can, as I said, read it. This was a study that was published in the American Journal of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene. And they found that the spread of false and misleading information around coronavirus had led to death and injuries. So of the 2,311 reports of conspiracy theories, rumors, and stigmas circulated in 87 countries, imagine 87 countries, 24% were related to illness, 21% to control measures, and 19% to treatments and cures. Now, this is where this is happening. Now, just because they only found 2,311 reports, that doesn't mean that that's all that's out there. That means that that's the number they studied. So I think it's probably a little bit more accurate to look at the percentages of information that are out there related to false information. This is deadly. I mean, this is no joke. When people rely on information about their health from unreliable sources, there is potential for serious implications. You should always check it out. People get very anxious these days about all of this kind of health-related information. Completely understand, but just take a breath. Take a breath and check it out. We've got some links for you here. Now you can, if you have a membership to the Oldish, it's free. But one of the benefits of having a membership where you log in is that you can save articles to your library. Highly suggest you do that, and highly suggest that this article be one of them. It's just down here. Once you log in, you click it and it's in your library, and then you access it from the toolkit, My Library. You can go there and find all the articles that you have saved. But here are some ways to check it out. Check any information out that you see. Factcheck.org. I'm finding that one a very reliable one these past few months. Snopes has been around forever, and it is just this old reliable workhorse that you can always count on. It will tell you if the information is true, false, or some combination of fact and fiction, which can also be true. You can learn more down here. This is a link to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention right here, and it is helping you sort out fact from fiction as well. That is one of the things that you need to be very cautious about. So do go back and read this article. Save it if you're a member. If not, print it out. Well, of course, that won't get you the links, but you can at least know the names of the organizations that you can go and check. I want to show you another one that just popped up. Oh, well, this one I can show you. Seniors are more likely to share fake news. This is something that we published in January. No blame here, people. No blame. This is a study that was done in the US. Americans over the age of 65 were more likely than their younger counterparts to share news that was fake. No blame, no judgment. I think that we are not native internet users. This is something that came along later in our life, and we were used to getting our information from reliable sources. We were used to turning on, Knowlton Nash in Canada or Walter Cronkite in the US, and newspapers were not conglomerates. You could rely on them a lot more. It is so difficult to tell what is real and what is fake anymore these days, and it's just something that you really have to be careful of. Now, here's one that popped up just this morning. I'll share with you. This one here. It was on CNN. This literally popped up this morning just as I was sort of gathering things together to go on the air. This fellow, Anderson Cooper, is interviewing him. And it's the guy that owns My Pillow. Now, there's a little bit of the interview here, and you'll find out some interesting stuff about him, but he is swearing. He's bought into a company that claims that oleandrin is a potential therapeutic for coronavirus. Oleandrin comes from the oleander plant, and as Anderson Cooper is pointing out during this interview that you can read, there have been no scientific studies on this. Follow the science. It is so important, and I know that there are some political circles in different spots all over the world, so not criticizing just one country, but in all spots all over the world that are politicizing COVID. And if the science doesn't agree with the narrative they want to put forward, let's put it that way, then they push the science down. But the scientists aren't politicians. Science is always evolving, and that's what science should do. If you see one report on a given subject one week and you see something that is a little bit more advanced in a couple of weeks, that's science doing what it should be doing. So, pay attention to that. Please don't be so quick to panic or get anxious around health reports. All right? Just check them out on those sites. Go to that article. Check the links, save the article, however you have to do it, but do check things out, okay? Now then, let's just turn on to something else. It is mid-August, and we're in my kitchen because we're going to talk a little bit about food, not too much, but a little bit, and I wanted to change up the view. All right, so whether or not you celebrate Christmas, there are other holidays coming. There might be graduations. You never know. Sometimes schools graduate in the fall. Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays, anniversaries, all kinds of stuff is going on. And, I think it's time to start thinking about what you're going to do in terms of gift giving. In my family, I'm sort of known for having my Christmas shopping done by Thanksgiving. Last year I had it done by Labor Day, but I was moving last year. Thanksgiving is like my cutoff, and I long ago started shopping for Christmas. I stash things away and hope that I remember where I put them, but really I'm an early shopper. But I think this year it might be something that I would recommend to a lot of you. We have COVID. The flu season is coming. Kids are going back to school. This is this perfect storm intersection, and we don't know if businesses are going to be closing down again. And it's different for every province and every state and every country. Let's hope we can all use the tools that we have at our disposal and avoid that. But if worse comes to worse and we do have to shut down again, you might find yourself in a pinch for shopping for any and all of these kinds of occasions. So I just want to go through some things for you. Again, related to COVID, we have all seen so many businesses shut down or cut back, and there are definitely some that just aren't going to return. I think that this year, more than any other time in our lives or in our history, it is so important to support local, shop local, buy local. Um, they are all trying to recover, and politicians in many countries, just as an example, are talking about bringing manufacturing local for their PPE. And, it's something that when we shop local, we're supporting our local economy. We have at our disposal the things that we need. And as consumers, I think this is something that is really important for us to do. I want to talk to you. You know, One of the restaurants that I love in my community has been like my goal. They run their business like my goal. It's all I've been able to do to wrap my head around shopping for 2 and 3 weeks at a time, because I'm usually somebody that goes to the grocery store 3 and 4 times a week. This is a big deal, but this restaurant does such a fine job. And I've been really impressed that when I look at my main street, I live in a small town, there have been 3 new businesses open up just in the last 2 weeks. One is a chiropractor who did practice elsewhere, and now she is practicing locally. There is a spa that has opened up. Kudos to her, because that's got to be a rough business to get going. The other one is a bistro, and they have even a bigger investment because they bought the building that they opened their bistro in. So props to all of them, and I'm going to do my best to support all of them. But this one restaurant that I want to talk to you about, this is a chef who is very fortunate to have a very large outdoor patio space, and he has been able to enlarge it onto his lawn when it was safe to reopen. And it has been safe. I've been there 3 times, 4 times maybe, since he reopened. Indoors, it's going to be a little more challenging for him to manage that. But really what I want to focus on here is his ability to support local. He is one of these people who looks at what's in season and what's available locally and builds his menus based on that, instead of the other way around, deciding what they want to serve on their menus and then going and looking for it. And if you can't find it locally, you truck it in. There is nothing trucked in to his restaurant. Really, there is nothing. He has long practiced what he preaches in terms of supporting local. He bases his menu, as I said, on what's in season. The fish is caught in the lake 20 minutes away. He uses locally grown chicken, turkey, and pork. He farms 16 acres of his own, where he grows a lot of vegetables and some fruits. He has partnered with a local vegetable grower as well. So between all of them, there is a lot that is going on there. He uses locally grown garlic. It's literally 10 minutes up the road where that company is. He makes several kinds of jellies and condiments that he uses in his recipes. The herbs that he uses are grown on his own farm. A few years ago, he started a beehive at the back of the restaurant property, and he was able to get honey to use in his recipes from his own beehive. Last year, he was able to split the beehive and take part of it out to his farm. So now he has another hive that pollinates his own crops out there, and he gets his honey there. So, I mean, isn't that amazing? The dessert chef bases his selections on what's in season as well. So right now it's peaches. Peaches, peaches, peaches. It's the mainstay of the dessert menu. And when I was there last week, I actually had a peach, gin, tonic, and basil drink. It was amazing. In fact, I had two. It was really, really good. So, they do their best. We have local wineries and breweries in the area as well. So you'll find those beverages reflected on their menu as well. Friday nights, he hires local talent to come and serenade the diners. The chef and his vegetable growing partner run a farmer's market outside of the restaurant a couple of days every week. And on the back of the menu, the regular menu in regular times, not now, is a whole list. It's an entire page of all of the vendors that he uses, so that his patrons will be encouraged to use products from those vendors. That is a real commitment to consuming local. It's a bit harder for the local grocery stores because they are so regulated by corporate head offices, but they do their best to carry local products. I know I can find turkey burgers there from the local turkey farm. I can find all of those garlic products, and I can find local corn there as well. A couple of weeks ago, I read on Facebook a story about um, the this builder, he's a contractor, and we have two building slash hardware stores in town. He went to the one to buy what was required for whatever the job was he was doing, and he looked at the labels. I guess just all this talk about buy local, shop local. He looked at the labels, and everything was manufactured overseas. So he got back in his truck and he went to the other store and noticed that the items that he wanted could be had with stickers on them that said made in Canada. So he purchased everything there. So, it doesn't matter what country you are from. I would encourage you, because I know we have viewers in the UK, we have viewers in Australia, the US, Canada, France, Africa. We have viewers from all over. The same theory applies. Look at the labels. And if you can buy something that is manufactured in your own region or country, always a good thing. As we come up on Christmas, and we look at things that are maybe more gifty, clothing is a really tough one. It is tough, but if we curb our impulses and we do a bit of research, there are some really great manufacturers and retailers in our own countries. And I think that a little bit of looking around, I did some looking around on Instagram and on Etsy, and there are actually a lot of Canadian retailers and manufacturers to draw from. There should be no need for me to shop outside of my country. And I'm sure, again, I'm not dissing any country, I'm sure you can find the same thing in your country. Your retailers and manufacturers are in the same position as ours here in Canada. So I would suggest that you take a really good look at the businesses that are in your local area, in your regional area, and in your country, and consider supporting them as we head toward the Christmas season. I know that we can't always find exactly what we need, so don't feel guilty if you can't. Find what you need to the best of your ability, and if you absolutely need it and have to get it from somewhere else, then of course you will. Of course you will. But, this is maybe a good time to look at what is available locally, just like that restaurateur does, and wonder if that item is something we could gift to somebody, that somebody on our list would appreciate. I see a bunch of comments here, so I'm going to turn to these. Govila, hi! Warm wishes to you from the UK. I hope you are doing well. Govila is one of our regular viewers, and I'm always so happy to see her here. Dilshan, hi! I don't believe I've seen you here before, or at least not in a broadcast. Please read the comments. Yes, I'm reading the comments. That's good. And where is what? So that we can... Oh, haters. It's in Dashwood, Ontario. Do you know... I don't know where you're from. Whereabouts are you from, Anne? I'm in my kitchen, so I can look in my freezer. I can show you. Let me just get this out. Haters Turkey Burgers. There we go. Cranberry and spinach. Oh, it's over here, other side. Cranberry and spinach is my favorite kind. That is, let me just pop this off there. You can see it. Haters Turkey Burgers. It is a farm that is local to where I live, and I'll tell you, those burgers are really good. They come in plain and lightly seasoned and cranberry and spinach, but they make so many other products as well. And if you are in Ontario, you might be able to find them in your grocery store. Okay, and Kovila, yes. Always buy local produce. There are a lot of farms where I live. Yes, excellent. We did a survey on the Aging in Place private group, which is our Facebook private group. Did a survey back in July about whether people are able to grow their vegetables more, or if they sort of half eat what they grow and have to buy things, or if they buy some of those prepared meals, Hello Fresh and Diners, Dasher, I'm not sure the names of all of them. The boxed meals, you know, where you get a kit essentially where everything is prepared and you really just have to cook it up, no measuring required. Um, there was, I think, one response that individual used that, but most people were able to do either half and half, or they were able to buy exclusively locally. So, you know, I think we're doing really pretty well with that. I do. I feel like people are making an effort, but you know, I'm very concerned about things getting shut down again. I really am, and the businesses were hurting after the first time, and they are going to hurt even worse. So if we can support them and, you know, do ourselves a favor and get some Christmas shopping or holiday shopping, whatever holidays are coming up on your calendar, get it done ahead of time and put just a little bit more thought into it, I think we can do a better job of supporting our local retailers than what we're doing now. And I know that some of you are doing a wonderful job. I am doing my best and trying, but I am going to commit to trying to do better as well. And maybe some of my family will find some local products under their tree. I have a pic of my daughter, 35 years. Yes. So you are local in the area. Yes, you know, when I first moved to the area, I remember very clearly with my children going out there, out to the farm to get some turkey products, and little Tommy Hayter, who is now a grown man, but little Tommy Hayter took my kids for a tour of the barn, and they saw baby turkeys, and I mean, masses and masses and masses of them. And my children were thrilled. And of course, that would never happen now because the health regulations around that, you have to be all suited up and so forth. And I mean, you know, for good reason. But it is a memory that my children have from when they were young going to Hayter's farm. Their products are absolutely wonderful. So anybody who is in the region, I highly recommend Hayter's Turkey Farm. And if you are in Ontario, maybe your store can get it because they ship all over. Not sure how far they ship in Canada, but you can go to their website. Have I tried? Yes, that was the restaurant I was just telling you about. Eddington's. James Eddington is the restaurateur who bases his menus on what is available locally. He does an exceptional job. He has really been a promoter of local as long as I've known him, which, gosh, he bought Eddington's. It used to be the Frenchman's Inn, and he bought that 20 some odd years ago. And yeah, he does a really fine job. He is so committed to shopping local, and he bought his 16-acre farm a few years back, and he's been developing it, and he is, you know, goals. Props to him because he is just goals. Husband was a lawyer there at Edding, or in Exeter, you mean? Or I'm just wondering where your husband was a lawyer. I've lived in that area pretty close to 30 years now. I think it's coming up on that, and it's a wonderful area to live in. You know, it's very rural. There's lots of agricultural. Yes, in Exeter. Okay, lots of agricultural land around us. There is no reason for anybody to go hungry. Let me tell you. So, you know, why the first thought is to go to the grocery store and buy something that gets trucked in from faraway places is, you know, I guess it's convenience. We can all just do a better job. So anyway, as I say, Christmas is coming, so please support local. And as we talked about in the top of our show, please do be very careful with the information that you read that is health oriented. Check it out before you panic, or before, you know, Dr. Google is not your friend. Dr. Google really isn't, but do go to that article that was just published today on theoldish.com. I'll make that crawl go across again. That's where you can find that article right here. And you can find the links to those fact check organizations, and you'll be able to check out anything that gives you pause for concern, because I want you to stay healthy. I don't want you flying off the handle. It is so easy to do with so much information around these days that is not necessarily good for us. In fact, taking a bit of a pause from COVID information is not a bad idea, but that's really hard to do. Anyway, I will see you all next Wednesday at 12 noon. Hopefully the technology cooperates with us a little better then, but until then, please do take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and do remember that it takes a village to age a senior. Bye-bye, everybody.